Hey friends, you're waking up in the morning super excited. Yes, this is your day. The day you finally get that promotion and the money you've worked your butt off for. So you walk into your boss's office, but something feels off. He's not smiling. He asks you to sit down and suddenly there's this knot in your stomach. He starts reading from his laptop screen and that's when you notice, wait a second, is that an HR person sitting in the corner? In an effort to reduce costs, management has decided to restructure the business, which will result in the elimination of several positions in the company. What? No way! You can barely hear the next sentence over the sound of your own heartbeat in your ears. Unfortunately, your position has been selected, and we are going to lay you off. Today will be your last day with us. Your heart races, you start sweating, and then you wake up. It's 3 a.m. You're in bed. Whew! This day hasn't happened yet. But you know, the truth is that for many of us, this nightmare is going to become reality. Probably way sooner than we think. I know, not exactly motivational speaker material, right? But stick with me. In this video, I'll share my 5 strategies to prepare for this day, the day you might be let go. I've used every single one of these myself. And I've guided hundreds of others through using them to turn what could have been career disasters into amazing opportunities. If you're new here, hey, I'm Amir, and for over 30 years I've led 6 global teams and helped more than 1,000 individuals and businesses achieve remarkable growth. And yes, I've been on both sides of that awful layoff conversation, giving the news and getting it. Trust me, neither side is fun. So let's dive in. Number 1, build your financial fortress, saving for a rainy day. When I was 16, I visited Europe for the first time. I was wandering through this massive stone castle in France's Loire Valley, and something hit me. Once you pass through these enormous gates, there was this feeling of safety, like nothing outside could touch you. That's exactly what we need to build around our financial lives. You see, in today's economy, job security is totally an illusion. It's not a matter of if we'll face a financial challenge, it's when. That's why our financial fortress isn't just nice to have. It's our first line of defense when things get ugly. To prepare for that inevitable day when the financial storm hits, we absolutely need to build our financial fortress. What does that mean? For me, it's saving for 3 to 6 months of living expenses at a minimum. Think of this as emergency fund, as your panic prevention system when things go sideways, like losing your job. It buys you breathing room. And let me tell you, when you've got money in the bank, you make way better decisions than when you're freaking out about next month's rent. Now, I can already hear some of you saying, come on Amir, I can barely save anything today, let alone 3 or 6 months of expenses. Hey, I get it. I used to say the exact same thing. But here's how you can start building your fortress today. And I mean literally today. First, take a good hard look at your expenses. Pull up those credit card statements. Second, find those small, barely noticeable things you can live without, like maybe cutting back on coffee runs or that streaming service you hardly watch. And finally, this is the crucial part. Immediately move those savings into a separate account. I know it sounds tough, but listen to this. Years ago, when I created my first emergency account, I had very little. And when I said very little, I mean really little. My bank account had maybe 2 digits when I pulled my outstanding balance. But I realized I was paying for 3 magazine subscriptions I barely even opened. Cutting those was literally the first brick in my financial fortress. So here's your homework, or as I like to call it, home fun. Find just 1% of your expenses. That's it, just 1% that you can eliminate this week, and immediately dump that cash into your emergency fund, your separate account. It might seem tiny, but that's your first brick, my friend. And every castle starts with just 1 brick. 2, build your personal brand beyond networking. The most important part of your fortress is actually you, your personal brand. Here's the thing. Most of us go to work, crush our task, maybe hit, the holiday party, free food, and call it networking. But then, boom, we let go, and suddenly it hits us. Our entire network was basically built on a quicksand. The second we're gone, it all sinks. I've seen this happen to brilliant people, and admittedly, early on, to me as well. One day we have this strong network at our company, and the next day our emails go unanswered. It's brutal. Let me break down the critical difference here. Regular networking connects you with people you already know. Personal branding connects you with people you haven't even met yet. So, what the heck is personal branding anyway? It's not some corporate buzzwords nonsense. It's the consistent message you're sending to the world about your value and your expertise. When you nail this, the game completely flips. Potential employers and clients start looking for you, not the other way around. Let me share 3 ways I've built my own personal brand that actually work. Share your industry insights. You know some stuff. Post monthly take about changes in your field or lessons from your wins and yes, your failures too. People love real authentic stories. Second, become a public problem solver. Answer questions on industry forums or LinkedIn groups where your expertise can shine. Be the helpful person everyone remembers. And third, create content that shows what you know. This could be YouTube videos like this one, podcast guest spots, or speaking at events. Start small. Nobody's first video goes viral. So what can you do today? I've got 2 simple steps. First, go audit your LinkedIn profile. Does it clearly show your unique abilities? Would someone who doesn't know you understand your specialized knowledge? If not, fix it now. I promise, I'll wait. Second, grab your notebook and list 10 topics where you have valuable insights. Then create a super simple content calendar, maybe just 1 post a month or to start with. When people comment, respond thoughtfully and start those relationships. I like lighthouses. The concept of always showing you the way. Your personal brand is like a lighthouse that keeps shining, even when your job disappears. And trust me on this one. Start building it now, not when you're desperately hunting for your next role. Number 3, enhance current skill set and develop adjacent ones. All right, let's keep building our castle. The third strategy is all about tooling yourself up to be the true master of your domain, enhancing your current skills while developing adjacent ones. One of the limiting beliefs that I was fighting all my life is what Jim Collins calls the tyranny of or. You see, most people talk about skills like it's an either-or situation. Either you're a journalist who knows a little about everything, or you're a super specialist who knows absolutely everything about just one tiny thing. But the real genius is in the end. It is the middle path that almost nobody talks about, developing what expert calls T-shaped skills. Think about the letter T for a second. The horizontal bar at the top, that's your breadth, having a range of related skills across different areas. And the vertical bar going down, that's your depth. Those few special areas where you really develop serious expertise. Here's how I think about these skills. They fall into 3 buckets. Personal stuff like communication, functional stuff like coding or marketing, and industry-specific knowledge. When we're starting our professional lives, we're kind of like all over the place, dabbling in lots of things at the top of the T. But as we grow, we get to pick our superpowers. You see, those are the skills we're going to absolutely crush going down the leg of the T. Let me get personal for a minute. I started as a software developer, really totally a code nerd. But as I moved up, I realized I needed to add management skills to my toolkit. Then later, I added operational know-how and coaching abilities. The whole time, I kept broad understanding of multiple industries, but I went really deep on leadership. This T-shaped approach, it makes you the total package that companies can't ignore when things get shaky. You're versatile and valuable, exactly what you need during job transitions. Let me share a super simple practical exercise that I used. Commit to just 30 minutes of daily learning. That's it. At the start of each week, get specific. Which book will you read? Which video will you watch? Which tutorial will you complete? Map it out day by day. This really tiny investment compounds like crazy over time. By building your current skills and adding adjacent ones, you're basically weatherproofing yourself against any career storm. You truly become the master of your castle, and nobody can take that away from you. Nobody except number 4, prepare mentally. Build resilience team. Nobody except your own mind. Yes, the secret ingredient is you. Every master of their castle has a secret. To command the outer walls, you must first master what's within. Up here, our brain is absolutely brilliant in generating frightening stories that can freeze us in our tracks and when time really gets tough. You see, our 4th strategy is about mental preparation, and it has 2 critical pieces. First, creating what I call your emergency response team. And second, building that internal resilience muscle. So what does emergency response team actually look like? For me, it's pretty simple. It's my most trusted people. My wife, my 3 ride-or-die friends, and few careful chosen peers. And here's the thing. These aren't just people who offer a shoulder to cry on when things, for lack of a better word, completely suck. These are the folks who will give us the honest truth. Yes, even when it hurts. Those who will nudge you toward your next move and hold you accountable when you're tempted to hide under the covers. I've built this remarkable circle over 30 years, and honestly, I'm just as proud that some of them consider me part of their emergency team too. Now about resilience. This gets super personal. We all build inner strength differently. For me, journaling has been an absolute game changer. I document everything, my wins, big and small, nice things people say about me. Yeah, I save compliments, I do like them. And situation where I flipped my perspective from disaster to opportunity. When I hit tough patches and wow, I had some real lows, I flip through these journals. I read about previous fires I've walked through. This isn't some fluffy positive thinking exercise. It's real, really hard evidence that I've gotten stronger with every challenge. So here are the 2 things you can do today. 1, grab your phone right now and write down 5 names. People you trust enough to be your emergency response team. Then, actually reach out to them. Tell them about this crazy video you watched and explain this concept. And, ask them if they'd be there to support you when things get rocky. Second, get yourself a fun notebook. Yes, I'm completely old school nerd about this. Mine are covered with stickers from the 80s cartoons. Hey, no judgment. Write down your 10 biggest achievements and 3 tough times you've survived. Keep adding to this journal as life throws, life stuff. This mental prep work isn't just about feeling all warm and fuzzy. It's about making smarter decisions when you're under serious pressure. Remember, you are the secret ingredients to your own castle. And finally, the moment we all been waiting for. Number 5, prepare financially, beyond savings. Finally, the moment is here. The crowning achievement of your castle. Okay, let's first see what our castle looks like so far. By now, your fortress has its foundation with those emergency funds. You've equipped yourself with powerful skills, you build your personal brand beacon, and assembled your knights, aka your emergency response team. But every master of their domain, yes, I said it again, if you didn't get it by now, I'm totally a Seinfeld fan. So every master of their domain knows one more crucial thing. A fortress needs sustainable operations, even when famine strikes the land. While our first strategy was all about building our saving stash, this final strategy ensures that your castle keeps running, even when your main money pipeline suddenly goes dry. This involves two key pieces: creating what I call flexible what-if spending plan and developing those sweet alternative income streams. Let's talk about the spending plan first. When we're employed, cash flows in like clockwork. And let's be honest, most of us spend without even giving it a second thought. It is only 14 days until the next paycheck. Creating this what-if budget helps you identify exactly which expenses you can kind of like dial back when things get tight. This isn't about living on rice and beans. Not that it will be too bad, right? It's about knowing your options before you need them. Maybe it's eating out twice a month instead of twice a week, or shopping at Target, Target, instead of Nordstrom. The whole point is to make your emergency funds stretch way longer by having your expense-cutting battle plan ready to go. But there's more. Yes, more money. So now the fun part, developing alternative income sources. The best time to plant these money trees was yesterday. But the second best time? You're right, it's today. Let me share 3 approaches that have actually worked for me. First, creating content on weekends and monetizing it. I've built YouTube channels and guides specifically for people navigating midlife challenges. It all starts small, like embarrassingly small, but it is growing. Second, leveraging assets you already have. I've rented rooms in my home, which not only brought in cash, but also introduced me to some fascinating people from across the world. And third, offering services based on your existing skills. Whether it's consulting, doing something completely different like pet sitting or landscaping, weekend work can generate serious side income. So your last home fun for today. Write down 10 potential income sources that actually interest you. Because if you hate it, you won't stick with it. Then commit specific time outside of work hours to develop just one of them. Set a 90-day income goal, even if it's tiny, to keep yourself accountable. With both a flexible spending plan and these additional sweet income streams in place, your financial fortress isn't just built, it's operational and it's ready for anything. Build your castle with these 5 strategies will hopefully ensure that you'll no longer wake up at 3 a.m. in this cold sweat, terrified of what's about to come. Instead, you'll roll over, maybe check the time, and then drift back sleeping, knowing that you prepare for whatever challenges might approach your castle. One thing to remember, that there is no remarkable fortress in history that built at once. The important part is placing your first brick today. Whether it's moving $50 into your saving account, updating your dusty LinkedIn profile, watching that first tutorial in a new skill area, texting a friend about being on your emergency team, or jotting down those potential income ideas, just pick one action from today's strategy. That's okay. One brick, place it. Tomorrow, add another one. Nothing amazing happens overnight. Trust me, I've been building my own castle for decades. But by brick, you'll build something that can stand strong against any career storm that comes your way. For me, many times massive armies were against my castle gates. But the bricks held fight for another day, and your castle will stand too. Thank you so much for watching. And if you found this helpful, click that like button and consider subscribing for more videos like that. Until our next time together, may you have a truly remarkable life. And have fun storming the castle.